Hey everyone, it's Matthew Greenwood again with our Fireside Chat, New Directions. So tonight's guest is going to be Adair Palmer. We're going to be talking about sustainable living in a different way, in a different style, and also running a business in that process. So Adair is actually has supported me with the Fireside Chats in all the time I've been running it, which is nearly coming up to, I think we're over 18 months, which is great. Got some people coming up. Hi, Leonie. Hey, Kathy and Kylie. And who else have we got? Whoop. We've got Adair too. And we've got Joanne Dyson. Hey, Joanne. And as usual, we're live on Matthew Greenwood Spiritual Journeys. That's my Facebook site. And we're also on Be Live TV. And tonight, please, if you've got people you know that would be interested in understanding more about sustainable living, it will be great to have you on board as well. So please let them know and let them come in. Now, as per usual, we'll be doing a grounding exercise very soon, which will only run for about 5-10 minutes. But by you actually asking questions, it brings you in to get the possibility of a free spirit guide reading, which is the sort of work I do. For those that don't know me, I do spiritual work and I see guides, I see energy, and so you'll get a half-hour spirit guide reading with me. And the winner tonight is, and I'm not too sure how to pronounce this, it's Stefan or Stephen Alma. You were on board last week, so congratulations. We'll be in touch with you and look forward to doing a reading for you. And hi, Christina. Who else have we got? We've got Sarah Filmer. Hey, Paulie. The Paul D. Caterina has already been on. He was on a few weeks ago with those beautiful gardens. We've got Edith Waterson. Hey, everyone, for coming on board. Now, let's do this grounding exercise, which, as I like a broken record, as I say every Wednesday night, this is something that's really important if you want your energy to be stable with all of the things that are going on out there, which are instilling fear and anxiety into people. The first thing that gets knocked when you're being impacted by fear and anxiety from everything that's going on, and we know what all of that is, then the base chakra is the first thing that gets hit. So then that leaves you with a sense of disconnection, and it's important to get that back to be stable. So the grounding exercise is for just that, and also to raise your frequency above all of this fear and fear-mongering. So, hey, Troy, good to see you on board. Okay, here we go with the grounding exercise. So just to begin, nice deep breaths, which is really the basis of most spiritual exercises. So keeping the breath in and out very full, roughly about 3 to 4 seconds. And imagine with each breath, you're not just breathing in oxygen, you're literally breathing in life force, which is a commodity that we cannot do without. We need it to live, to survive. It's what flows through our chakra system that feeds physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of us. So these conscious, healthy ways of getting life force are very important. to be able to maintain our energy. So remembering with each breath in, pulling that life force in, just imagining it coming in, and you're literally there. Okay, so with the next breath in, pulling a deep one in, this time with the breath out, I'd like you to push that energy that you've just breathed in down through your body, your base chakra, your legs, your feet, and then down through into the earth. And for roughly half a dozen breaths, just keep using that same technique to keep that energy flowing down through your legs until you feel a tingling or warmth or just a sense of energy flowing down through your feet into the earth. Hey Gail, hey Shiley. Beautiful. Couple more breaths, just pulling that life force in, just visualizing it flowing down through the earth. All right. So we're not as far as we can go yet with our grounding. We're just on the surface. Pardon me. We're going to go deeper, right down to the core of the earth. So down there is the extent of our energy system, and it's called our earth chakra. It's the deepest chakra we have, and it anchors right down at the core of the earth, where the earth has one too. So next deep breath in, pulling that life force in again, this time with the breath out, driving that energy right down to the core of the earth, to your earth chakra, the deepest connection that you can have with the earth. Same thing. What you're looking for is, with this earth chakra, it's a little bit more subtle for most people, but it is an overall sense of peace. You can get tingling, definitely, from that, feeling that connection. I've even had people feel a floating feeling, which is unusual because it's grounding, but it's a different sense of floating. It's like you're floating within the earth. So what this chakra connects us with is our deep, ancient energy that we stem from, that primal energy, which is the deepest, cleanest connection with the earth. Beautiful. Okay, we're not quite finished yet. So what we're going to do now is I'll take you through raising your frequency. So just allow your breath to relax. That flow of energy down through your base and down through to that earth chakra is beautiful. But now if you can bring your awareness to the center of your physical body to start with, and just knowing that you are far more than physical, it's like there's a whole universe inside of you. So what I'd like you to do is, with your imagination is a very powerful tool. So with your imagination, feel yourself flowing deeper into your energy system, going right down to the core of your energy system, which is inside of you. This energy that you're looking for is a high vibrational energy that is the connection to the universe or to the God force within. You'll feel it or just know it or sense it. It's literally a highest vibrational energy you can pick up on. When you do feel, see, or sense this energy, you're in the driver's seat. What I'd like you to do is expand that light out. You've got access to that energy now. So just feel that light expanding out from deep within you, filling up that universe inside of you, coming through into the physical body. And imagine every cell in your body being touched by that light. And so there's more to you than just your physical, as we know. Now expanding that light out beyond your physical into an area roughly 3 to 4 meters out in all directions around you. Up, down, left, right, front, back. This is roughly your 9th to 10th energy body, which relates to your galactic connection also, not just physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, but your galactic connection. But now, beyond that space, as you fill that with light, I want you to explode this light out in all directions limitlessly. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Let it fly out. Just imagine that light reaching to the far distant corners of the universe and beyond into the multiverse reality that we exist in. Not just through space, but through time and space. And as you feel that connection with that light, we're just going to do a little bit of tweaking with that light. What I'd like you to do is to imagine expanding that light out through into your future. Now, setting a little intention that the path in the future you want to take is the optimum spiritual path that will help you to reach your full potential. So imagine that light flowing through to that path. And what will happen is, as you go through life, that light will shine the way for you. Keep expanding that light out. And there's a lot you can do with this. I won't go into it now, but you can actually develop your business. You can help any workers you have in your business using this light. It's amazing what can be done with this, because what you're doing is working with the God force, that highest vibrational energy. All right, so to bring you back now, let's finish off with where we started. So now bringing your awareness back to your physical body, and we're going to ground that once again. Just with base chakra is enough. But don't pull that light in. Leave that light expansive. Remember, this isn't your energy. It is indirectly your energy, but it's literally, you're tapping into the energy of God, Creator, Universe, Great Spirit, however you perceive that. Leave that expansive. And now with a nice deep breath, pulling that life force in from all around you, nice clean energy, and then with the breath out, pushing that energy down through your body, your base chakra, your legs and feet, and then down into the earth. Give you a few seconds just to come back. And there we are. So this grounding exercise, I highly recommend that you do at least twice a day. Once you've done it a few times, it should only take you, it takes me about 30 seconds. I do it every day, not just morning and evening, but between clients as well. And it really keeps your energy levels high and your energy very clear. So highly recommend it. All right. Well, here we go with our guest, Adair Palmer. Hey, Adair. Good to have you on board. She is going to magically appear any second. Yes, she is.
Hi, Matthew. How are you?
Hey, oh, I'm good. How are you going? All ready?
Great intro.
Oh, thank you. It was just magic.
I'm still coming back from that grounding exercise. I just love that. It's so every week we do it, and every time I do it, you just get better at it, and it just I
Yeah,
love what you do when you practice it, and you can do it in 30 seconds, and I use it quite often to keep myself. If I find something, you know. Um, Pressing my
Ra-
buttons, I'll do the
rattling your cage.
grounding, rattling my cage, rocking the boat.
Yeah,
Using
which we're going to talk about in a minute.
yeah,
I'll just
so
say,
that's yeah, yeah. Go on.
I'll just say a quick couple of hellos to Petra and Alison Barford have come in on board. Good to see you guys. All right, so this is all about you, Adair. So I should say, Adair, like I said first up, Adair's been behind the scenes. Well, actually, in the beginning, about a bit more than 18 months ago, it was both of us doing. Adair would do the intro, and we do our fireside chats on a Thursday, I think it was back then. And but she supported this whole process all along the way, and I'm very, very happy to have her still on board. But she's huge in the Facebook scene and online scene. And so, Adair, I'd love you to give us a little bit of insight into what you do, and maybe the sort of clients that you might have. Not, you don't have to give names, but just the type of clients that you work with.
Okay, well, thanks, Matthew, and it's absolutely been a pleasure working with you for this we'll be coming up over 18 months now.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I do remember in the early days when you said you can just do all the housekeeping and then bugger off. That was kind of fun, but then it was like, no, you've got to take your training wheels off, and you're doing a great job.
Thank
And
you.
I still like, I was working with Mark Holden. They say one of some of the clients, but working with Mark Holden. For those of you who are old enough to remember, he was a pin-up boy on my bedroom ceiling when I was 14. So we were doing a project with Rotary, and he said, I don't want to do anything except turn up and speak. He said, you turn all the knobs. And I'm going, okay. So that was what I sort of heard you say too, Matthew, was like, just want someone to do all of the background work, and I can just turn up and just share my genius, which you do, and you do so very well. And it's my pleasure to be in the background, turning all the knobs and making it work. And so, seriously, sometimes you have to have fly eyes and octopus arms to make it work. I love doing it, and I work with mainly people who are in alternative healing modalities. Being a non-practicing hypnotherapist myself, I do love to help people. I see myself as the megaphone for people who want to help people to get the word out there. And so, whatever that looks like, live broadcasting and chatbots are my wheelhouse. You might have noticed that there are some little messages coming up there somewhere. And
Down.
and they're pre-programmed into the chatbot. And we can change them up too. And when you make a comment, you'll get a little message from Matthew's page saying, "Hey, have the ultimate grounding exercise. Here's an opportunity, and you can register for a spirit guide reading, for a chance to win a spirit guide reading." And all of that is automated, and it's all linked in with the live broadcast. So if you're here and you're experienced, that's what I do. Among other things, but that's sort of the main thing.
Among other things, yeah. No, that's cool. And
Yeah.
I mean, this, for people that I can certainly say this very confidently. I was a complete dinosaur. I had nothing to do with going online, and the connection with Adair came at a very fortuitous time. about, I can't remember, it was about 3 or 4 weeks before COVID started last year. And so basically everyone was in shutdown, and I had to work out how to still work with clients and how to get my name out there. And it was just perfect timing that we'd already started working together, and it was just amazing. It was just a great connection, and she's helped me. You've helped me a lot with this whole process.
You helped me too.
So,
well, can I tell a little secret? Just a tiny little secret.
Oh, yeah.
You said you're a complete dinosaur, but I wasn't expecting the garlic and the steak. It's like, no, I'm joking. Everybody. Matthew was a little bit of resistance, but we got there. Can I just acknowledge Petra? Thank you so much, darling.
Oh, yeah,
it's all in the lighting, and I've got control, see. There you go. Someone is watching from inside of the Meditation with Matthew community. So hi.
Okay.
Whoever that is, we can't see your face, and we can't or your name until you give life permission to access those details. But it has been a pleasure working with you, and I look forward to continuing working with you, Matthew.
Yes, me too. So, next question, not to put you on the spot, but I know that you're on a houseboat. You've changed your lifestyle quite remarkably. I've seen just over the last 6 months or so, and it's amazing because this New Directions, the Fireside Chat, is really all about giving people out there that want to live an alternative lifestyle. And look, we've talked about this. This is where humanity's going. We need to be learning more alternative ways to live, which are sustainable, which supports the earth and everything that's going on, not using her up. And so, I've seen you go from living in a house to living on a houseboat. And can you tell us a few of the, let's say, the hiccups that you may have had to start with?
How long have you got? I think I spent the most of the first 3 months in tears. I can't do this. What have I done? Clearly I wasn't. I just go back a little step further.
Okay.
I have to thank you also, Matthew, because you've helped me enormously in the spiritual ways in that evolvement, in getting the courage and trusting what is real for me in here. And that includes my relationships with, like my son's father and other people that are close to me. And you've really helped me level up personally where it comes to working with people and respecting people and honoring those relationships. And without that, I wouldn't be doing this. So I just have to thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
I'm getting all teary because it's one of those things that you've got to be able to clear all that stuff to be able to find whatever it is that's inside of you, to be able to tap into that and go, what is my true, where am I happy? What am I doing? What is it that lights me up? And if you said to me 12 months ago that you would be on a houseboat, moored off a Kuchi, and you would just absolutely love it, I would have gone, Phil, I'm dreaming, because I have, I knew that I had been homeless for a couple of years, and that was due to a relationship breakdown and the house not selling and one thing after another. I wasn't out of a place to live, but I was homeless as much saying I didn't have my own space. I was living in a studio, nice little studio apartment underneath the house, tucked old granny away under the house. which was quite comfortable until the kids started running around upstairs. But I really wanted somewhere for my own, and I didn't want something that I had to pay a mortgage or pay rent. So so I went, all right, well, what can I do? And I was thinking more an RV. And then I'm on the ferry. I've lived on Kuchi Mudlow Island on and off for about 4.5, 5 years. And I just start looking at all these boats and I'm going, wonder what it'd be like to live on a boat. Well, next minute.
There you are.
And I was just saying to someone the other day, she was a girl, Erica. Hey, Erica. Was saying she did a pros and cons list because she kept saying, oh, my God, you've done it. You've done what I wanted to do. And I'm going, well, she said she did a pros and cons list. And pros and cons lists aren't my thing. And I'm glad they're not, because if I did a pros and cons list, I'd probably be renting somewhere on the mainland or on the island. So it's really been a path of following my intuition.
Beautiful.
And not knowing what's out there. But I know what I did know was I wanted something that was mine. It was paid for. So that's sustainable. I don't have to keep finding money for mortgage. I've got to keep finding money for maintenance, but that's wherever you go. I wanted something that I could have a sense of freedom, and I wanted something that was sustainable, that I was doing a little bit, however little it is, that I felt like I was doing something to help the planet.
Yeah, wonderful. And look, I've realized, I had to realize years ago that a spiritual life and an alternative life is like, it really is flying by the seat of your pants. And you don't know what's around the corner. There's no sure things. But when you feel that energy is flowing and things are happening, you just follow it. And really that's not just listening to your heart, it's listening to your head as well. But this is when you find balance, I think, between the heart and head, and you're really letting them guide you through this. Because I think to live this lifestyle, if you're a control freak, you can't, it wouldn't work. You have to be very open to just knowing that when you're on a roll energetically, things can come to you, things happen, and there's a lot of trust involved.
A lot of trust and a lot of faith.
Yeah, but it works.
Paul's saying, I heard you got a cooking shop. Did he mean show?
A show. Yeah. You wanted him to come on board on a cooking show.
All right, you're on. I'll tell you,
there you go.
The last person I challenged to a cooking show was a guy in England. I thought he was a live streamer. Well, he is, but he's also a qualified gourmet chef. So before I challenge anyone else to a cooking show, I'm going, or to a cook-off, I've got to see you. I've got to see that you have no creds first. Because he puts on his white coat and he goes, I'm from the Raymond Long School of Cookery. And I'm going, yeah, but I got a boat. I've got two gas burners, like two little gas burners. And this has got this full kitchen. I'm going, yeah, okay, no ovens.
Well, I know that you did a little something for us. You took some film earlier on in the day of just a little bit about inside your houseboat. So would you like to share that?
Let's see if this works. All right. What I did was I did just a tiny little video, and I'll put it on. This is across the top. What do you call it? I think it's the wheelhouse.
The cockpit or the wheelhouse, yeah.
The wheelhouse, the cockpit, yeah. Obviously, it's now a greenhouse.
Yes.
My greatest wish. There's a cabbage that I got from one of those little Woolworths things. Someone said, you can't grow a cabbage there. Mate, watch me. But so this is just some of the veggies I've got and the greens, because one of the greatest I'll just take that off now. One of the greatest joys I get is being able to go and pick a basket of greens and have them in a salad. And then the idea is to throw a line out the kitchen door and pull in a fish. Well, I've actually done that.
Great.
I did. Did you know that fish like halloumi?
Oh, do they really?
I got in trouble with Roz, if she's watching, because feeding fish halloumi apparently, is not. You're supposed to eat the halloumi, not feed it to the fish. But anyway, I dropped a piece of halloumi on a hook and put it in the water, and I pulled out this brim. It was like this, and then I went, "Oh, I'm going to stab you, and then I've got to scale you, and then I've got to pull your guts out. No, you can go back in the water." So as far as great white hunters go, I'm a good gardener.
Okay. Well, it shows that even fish are getting healthy, eating halloumi. So what would you say, having a bit of a think about being in the houseboat now after a lot of the dramas are over, what's the huge pluses that you've found, particularly, I guess, around working and,
Well, I guess the pluses for me are that the resilience that you build with doing this sort of thing, because it's like you don't even know what you have to do when you start the journey. And I think it's the same with anything that anyone does that's new, launches out and does that's new. I think the basic thing is to really know that whatever you face, whatever comes up, whatever you choose to do, it's almost like the universe goes, how hard? How bad do you want this? Come on. How bad do you want it? Let me throw another thing in there. And how bad do you want this? And you go, don't tell me no. Well, that's what I say.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I hate telling it. But it's like, yeah, and you do, when you overcome an obstacle, there just seems to be another one. And I've had it all, from the boat filling up with water while I was at my birthday down at Byron Bay, and someone sent me a photo and it was listing to one side. And I'd already had bilge pumps installed in the front and back, and I knew we had to take it out of the water and fix it. But and I thought, well, that'll be all right. But apparently, anyway, there was one thing or another, but the bilge pumps failed, and we came home and we're bailing out liters, like hundreds of liters of water, and it's like on this lean. And a little interesting story about that was, probably about 3 weeks ago, one of my fellow boaties, whose neighbour just lives over here, whenever he buggers off, I go, oh dear, must be Southerly's coming. I want to follow him. but I'm not quite there yet. But he took a photo and he sent it to me, and I was over on the mainland for a couple of days, and I opened up my messenger and I saw this photo, and my immediate reaction was, what's wrong now? And it was like, oh. And I messaged him and I said, is everything okay? And he goes, yeah, what's your problem? I'm just showing you, you're in the most beautiful spot in the world, and your boat, look at it, it's just gorgeous. And I went, yeah, I need to change my attitude.
Yeah, everything's starting to go really good now.
So, well, that was a pivotal point. That was a really pivotal point when I opened that message and I had fear instead of wow.
Yeah. Is there any chance on your homepage, I think it's on your homepage, you've got a photo of the houseboat in the water?
I do have it. I think it's here. If I just turn our videos off.
And while you're doing that, I'll just say a few.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. There she is.
Yeah, there she is. That was taken by Gary Sheehy. So that's a really nice, a nice sort of cool shot there. But yeah, I've got lots of photos on my personal profile, but that one just happened to be sitting in the background. So.
Cool. That's a good one. So just there's few people have said a couple of things. So Kylie said Paul's a great cook. He is, because I've eaten at his place and he is a fantastic cook. So anything Italian, he's magic with.
All right. What if? Sorry, can I just interrupt? Because I just had an idea. oh, what if we just do something that we all just only cook from what we can gather in our gardens?
Oh, geez, how much food do you want? He's got a huge garden.
No, I just thought that'd be something a little bit interesting.
Yeah,
Go on.
yeah, definitely.
Paul,
No,
Paulie,
that's a
let's
great
do it.
idea. I'll have to get you to talk to Paul. So
Yeah,
Paul,
you get my book
Collie
and
is
put
also
me.
saying that's why she stopped squidding, because she had to kill the animal, kill the squid.
Yeah, and all that ink.
So
Yeah.
Kathy's asking, Adair, do you stay moored in Kuchi, or do you move around Moreton Bay or up and down the coast?
Okay, that's a great question, Kathy. And the plan is to be movable because I'm not a tree. So, but one of the things, there's three criteria by which I measure everything that I do on the boat, and the first one is it's got to be safe. So if there's the first stuff, it's got to be dealing with safety issues on the boat. So that's what I've spent the better part of the last 8 or 9 months looking at safety issues. It's got to be functional, and it's got to be pretty. So the safety and the functional, they're coming together. The last thing is the winch. So when I came off the slip in beginning of June, and all our bum was patched up, and we had the back end rebuilt completely because it was all rotted. It's like, anyway, but that's another story, and it's all fixed. We put out to anchor, and I'd never been under anchor before, and we're just up a little bit further up by Red Rock, and there for 2 nights. And then the third morning, I woke up and I thought something. I was there by myself, and I thought, oh, gee, something's wrong. And you can feel that something's wrong. And I got out and I looked up, and I was like, this close to kissing a boat. And so I'm out the back, pushing this boat off with my feet, and I'm ringing the guy that my mate Pete is in the boat behind me, and he's going, what are you doing to get me up this early? It was about 5:30 in the morning, and I said, well,
Yeah.
if you don't want a visitor for breakfast, will you come and help me? I could not work the anchor. He said, just put the anchor down. And I'm going, I'll pull it up and put it down again. I'm going, I can't do that. So that was a real lesson. So there's been lots of lessons along the way, and that one of the lessons was, no, do this. Like, I'm on a mooring now, and the mooring is solid. So as soon as I get a electric winch, and I can just bring it up and put it down, then, Kathy, we can go as far as, I think, Bribie Island, far north is Bribie Island, and as far south as Broadwater. So all around Moreton Bay. Can't go over the bar, but and she works better in calm waters. But definitely, we're not going to be sitting in one spot. So, but there's so many interesting times when I've had to, reach out and get help, and every time help has turned up, which has just been phenomenal. So.
Which is part of that. Yeah, it's part of that community of Kuchi too, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, they're amazing, the community here.
And I'm just going to throw in something for everyone, guys. If you've got questions for Adair, please ask. Kathy asked a great question, so if you've got any other questions, because this whole process that we're doing is all about new ways to live, cheaper ways to live without having to buy a huge house, and just understanding, alternative ways that are sustainable, that we can use alternative power supplies, and which can be for a house on land or the houseboat. So a lot of the stuff that Adair's had to work through crosses over with alternative living on the ground as well, on the earth. So now, one thing I was going to ask you is, a little birdie told me that you are involved with the community on Kuchi, and can you tell us a little bit about what you do with the community, and how active the community is on Kuchi Mudlow?
I have to say, it is one of the most exquisite communities, and I've been involved with a few. I come from a small country town in rural South Australia, and it is amazing to think that we're in we're part of a massive council in Redland Bay Council, and not far from Brisbane city centre. But here on Kuchi, you could be in, yeah, you're on an island, and it's relatively isolated in terms of the ability to create that community, which is really special. So you get to know people very easily and quickly. And I'm part of the food co-op, the Kuchi foodies they call themselves, and I really like this idea, and I'd love to see it. I'm sure that there are sister groups around in different areas, but I think the Kuchi foodies here is run by a couple, Gabrielle and Russell, and I think they brought it to the island 3 or 4 years ago. It's all the food sourced locally, so we put in an order online once a fortnight, and then every other week we pick up our order. We all volunteers to pack and to run the food co-op. But what I really like is that all the food is sourced locally and it's all in season. So whatever you get, it's better for you if you're eating food that's locally sourced, organic and in season, because our bodies aren't meant to be eating mangoes in the middle of winter. Mind you, I would if I could find them. So.
And we've got Christina just asked a question which kind of crosses over actually with what you've just said. What percentage of your garden supplies your meals, and do you have to purchase additional food, which you do? So how far does your growing on board the boat support your meals?
Well, that's another great question. I have one here. Like, this is my little greenhouse out the back, so not to be not just having that. I'm thinking, where else can I put them? Where else can I put them? That's wheatgrass there, so you can actually get the wheatgrass and juice it into little shots. And at the top there's alfalfa, and I think there's snow peas growing there as well. So I can get right now, if I have a rotation of, I've got sprouts you saw in the beginning of the video. I can have a rotation of them going, so I can have fresh sprouts every day. I can have, pick the leaves off of the cabbage, and I can pick the alfalfa and have a green salad. So that forms the basis of having a salad a day, and I can do that from here quite easily. Now things are up and running. It's getting the rotations that's been a bit of a challenge, because, when I first started, I had, sprouts growing out my ears. That sounds wrong. But I had sprouts because I put them all in at once, and then I had all these sprouts, and I'm going, oh, now I've got to eat them, and now I've got nothing. So planning it so that I get a rotation. And that's working well now. I get some sort of system going.
Oh, beautiful. So Christina's asked another question. What is your source of energy? Solar generator? How do you get fresh water? And Paul's actually, just to follow on, he said, how long does your water last? So
well, that depends. Okay, so I'll just address Christina's question first.
Sure.
The solar, we've replaced the whole system, and the batteries, the charger, the inverter, and the panels. That seems to be working okay. There's a three-step process, or a 3-level process, that I want to have eventually on the boat. So it's sort of like a redundancy plan, and their main source of power is solar. So where I'd like to have enough to be able to do whatever I damn well please, which means I'll probably have to get another battery, and have a fan going during summer, and maybe a heater during winter, because I'm a sook. Okay, but that's the first thing, is having the solar panels. The second thing is having a generator. So we had to get a generator fairly early on, because the one that came with the boat was a bit like the boat was, and it didn't work properly. So that we kept the boat but got rid of the Jenny. And then I'd like to get a wind generator. So on days like today or the last few days, we've had wind warnings. It's been quite significant wind in the area. So these batteries will be charging now, but whereas the solar, when the sun goes down, they're not getting any charge into them. There's just being power drawn from them. So three things with the battery, with the energy, the electricity, and eventually, if we've got solar and wind, we won't be needing to use the generator for backup, but it will be there.
Yeah.
Water. Can I show this picture?
Sure.
Here we
Go for it.
Every time I want to do the washing, that's a little camp washing machine, and that's down by the little greenhouse out the back. It's so cute. It's like this big. You put a pair of knickers in there and it's full. But but this is great because it takes about that. See those jugs of water there? It takes about that many to do the washing. So I put all the washing through in one load of water because I just having to empty it after each wash is like not like a automatic. Definitely a twin, the old twin tub. And what my mum used to do, she put 3 or 4 loads through in one lot of water. So I top it up, and when it starts looking like, oh yeah, well, I'll just empty it out and start
But
again.
how's your father?
Yeah. I didn't get that dirty, surely. But anyway, yeah. So those water jugs come from the jetty. So there's another 20 litres there. So we've got 2 20-litre and 4 10-litre jugs, and that's about how much it takes to do the washing. When I go to the jetty, I time myself. It takes 18 minutes from leaving here, or from putting the water jugs in the tinny, getting over there, filling up and bringing them back. And with the 20-litre ones, I have to do a bit of fancy manoeuvring with ropes and leveraging because I can't lift them up out of the tinny and onto the boat. So you learn to be adaptable, I think. And what I want to do is get a rainwater harvesting system put up. And so we've got 2 tanks, and I think they're a couple of 100 litres each. So the water lasts, depending. I think we use about 40, and I say we because sometimes Nigel's here, but I'm here probably 80% of the time by myself. Use about 40 litres per day per person if I'm not doing the washing or making kombucha.
Okay. Yep. Cool.
So
okay.
do the math. Yeah.
Yeah.
And eventually,
sorry, no, you go.
I just want to say the last thing about the water was I'd like to get it's also on the plan to get a desalination unit as well. So
fantastic.
And then again, like with the power, with the water, we can just harvest rainwater or use the desal unit, and that way I'm not relying on anything off the mainland. So totally off grid.
Great. Yeah. And look, I've so in my former life as a cabinet maker, furniture maker, I've been out to quite a few houses fitting kitchens or cupboards or delivering furniture to them, where there's been alternative, completely off the grid, and they've had a combination. They had a little creek that was running most of the year long, and so you can get little, what do they call them, like the Snowy Mountain hydro schemes. You can get miniature versions of that.
Wow.
So little hydro generators, and it takes very little to actually bring power from the generator. But wind generators are actually very underestimated what they can do. And of course, they've got the battery storage for that as well with solar. So, there's definitely the technologies out there. And someone I want to get on board with one of the talks soon, I'm hoping. He actually has the license, or I think that's the right term, for Tesla's free energy system.
Wow.
so I'm wanting to get him on board to talk about how he's been developing these systems from Tesla's original plans, so that's something that will be coming eventually for people as well, and which is, it's been there all that time. It's just been kept under wraps. So so what I was going to ask was with your, so we're obviously online, so you've obviously got internet there.
I do. Now that's been another struggle. I don't know if you had some. We've had conversations where I've had to, sort of stand with my arm here and my, hand on my head and my tongue like that, and yeah. I eventually I was hotspotting my phone, and it was 180 gig a month, and I was just chewing through that like, I didn't do tomorrow. So I ended up getting a mobile broadband, which I did not know existed until I kept running out of data. And Telstra said, look, we've got this thing. It's a little black box, 400 gig of data, and I do have to pay extra for it. I think it's probably an extra maybe $80 a month on top of what you'd normally pay for unlimited data if you had NBN. But it does the job, and it's fast. It's on 5G, so I might get my brain fried, but I'll do it quickly. So the internet is critical, obviously, if you want to have a top lifestyle. So the big things in the beginning for me were getting the power supply sorted out, because there was the issues with the old batteries and the old panels, and it was just everything I did took 4 times as long, and now it only takes 2 times as long. But then there's the toilet where I had to beat it up, didn't I?
Yes, yeah, you did. Of course. Where would we be without one?
Where would we be? We'd be in a right mess. Now, I had a macerating toilet. So when I bought the boat, there was a macerating toilet, which meant that it sort of chopped everything up to sludge, and you were supposed to just open this little chute and let it out into the sea. And I couldn't come at that. You had to be 2 miles off of sea, 2 nautical miles out to sea before you even open this little chute. So I don't know what the previous owners did, but I can guarantee they weren't complying with the legislation.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, in all honesty, I could not do that, because it's like I'm living out here. Why would I want to put my waste out there? And, there's so many people, there's so much pollution. So I don't need to add to that. So it was really important to me to get something that was sustainable, that was environmentally friendly. And we ended up getting a composting toilet, which is like the old ones, like the old long drops, but it doesn't smell. It's amazing. But then I thought, this is great. And all the birds were singing and the unicorns were finding rainbows. And then I had to find somewhere to put it. And it was like, all right, now what do we do? But luckily, I have a friend on the island who actually has a compost bin, who said, no, you can pop this in there at any time. So, we can dispose of it, and we know that it's going to be recycled and recycled safely.
Yeah.
The other thing I was saying to you, Matthew, was offline. When you're, like I was saying offline before, I want to put a little flush noise in the toilet, because every time you stand up and you go, okay, well, there's something else supposed to happen here, because there's nothing to flush. So a little button there that's got a flushing sound or something.
Probably put a little micro switch or something in there that triggers the recording. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
So Kathy's just asked a question, and we might have to finish after this. So we've kind of talked about this already, Kathy. Do you have satellite that you could hook your internet to? How do you get TV reception? Important things like that. Your mobile broadband, that's available to anyone, isn't it?
Yeah, anyone who wants mobile broadband, you just go to the Telstra shop and you buy this little black box.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the option to do NBN, it's just a mobile broadband that picks up the wireless signal. So
Yeah. Fantastic. And
yeah, yeah.
how? So I guess the other thing is, if you're somewhere, excuse my lack of technology understanding, but if you're nowhere near a town,
Mm.
will this a mobile broadband uh, pick up on satellite internet, or does it?
I don't think so. I think it's just it's tower to tower, so I'd still
Right.
have to be
Okay.
in range. And satellite internet is like that's a different beast altogether. So
Yeah.
you know, um,
It,
and that's I think the further north that you go, that's what they rely
yeah.
on because they don't have the towers there, so it's got to be pinged off the satellite. But the mobile broadband works very much like the phone off the phone towers.
Yeah.
Mm,
Right. Fair enough.
yeah,
All right. Well,
yeah,
look, thank you very much. Or Kylie's got.
yeah,
It will be using the
yeah,
mobile network. Thanks, Kylie.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so, thanks very much for sharing your world with us,
Yeah.
and don't forget, um, you can give yourself a little plug if you want. Let people know, how you can help them. Particularly, what I think is fantastic is how you can help people get online um,
Mm.
in a really basic ways. So maybe you could just share a little bit of that.
Yeah, oh well, by the magic of something I haven't prepared earlier, I'll have to drop a link in after. But but I will. But I usually start by doing a health check on your Facebook business page because what happens when we go online, I'm live on LinkedIn as well, and I'm also live on Amazon as a live influencer over there. But what I do with businesses or anyone who's looking to improve what they do and looking at live streaming, what I can do is get a link to a health check on your business page, and you can book me in, and I can spend 20 minutes with you, give you a few tips on what you're doing really well and where you can improve. And then if you're interested in having someone help you further, then we can talk about that, and then I'll do a proposal if I think that we're a good fit to work together, or so it's just a process of exploring and
Mm,
understanding what each other's needs are,
mm.
and how I can best help. So that is the entryway is it's a complimentary health check on your page. So I'll
Cool.
drop a link in there, and people can afterwards, and people can jump in
Yeah.
and have a look. So yeah,
All right. That's great.
okay.
Thank you, Adair. That's beautiful. I
I'll
shall see
say
you on
goodbye
the flip
now.
side. Yeah, you can say goodbye now. Say
Thanks,
goodbye now.
Matthew. Bye
See
now.
ya. Um, Thanks, Adair. And look, just to give you a bit of information on what's happening next week, I've actually got someone called Amy who is building her own Earthship. Now, a lot of people don't know what an Earthship is, but she'll explain it next week. What it is it's an alternatively designed house that doesn't normally require heating or cooling. It actually is at a constant temperature through the way it's built, because part of it is literally, um, I wouldn't say totally underground, but there is a lot of earth around one side of the building, and it's right up to almost the roof. And so I've actually helped Amy with her place a couple of weeks ago, which was great fun to see how it's put together. It's really coming along now. But the one great thing that she's doing is getting people on board to help her build a house. So we're going to be talking a lot about that next week with Amy, and look forward to being involved in that one. And so just what I've got coming up is I've got level 1 shamanism coming up on the 9th and 10th of October. That's 2 great days of understanding the ego and showing you a lot of information about the aura, the chakra system, and how to read energy. And I've got level 2 shamanism, which is further deeper looking into the energy system and then also tweaking your abilities. We spend the day out in the forest for the second day, where I show you how to communicate with plants and different levels of spiritual energy in the forest. And it's a beautiful private property we go to, which is very pristine. And there's just so much spiritually going on that property. It's amazing. So now I've also got another level 1, because I had quite a few people asking me about other dates. November 6th and 7th. So is going to be a second level 1 workshop. So if you're interested in any of those, please give me a call, is the best thing, or text me on 0410 658 797. It's on my, I think it is somewhere on my Facebook site, but it's also on my website. Anyway, I can help you with clearing old energy or a reading. I do that too. I do house clearings, make drums, do drum making workshops. So we've just had a drum making workshop last Sunday, which was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, it was a great group of people, and we had a ball. So it was good fun. So anyway, have a great weekend and a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday night with Amy and her Earthships. Thanks, guys, and look, stay safe and